So the Big 12 and a couple other conferences are looking to sell their naming rights. And to me, it makes all the sense in the world because desperate times call for desperate measures. And they're trying to find a way to make up for the ocean-wide money gap between them and the SEC and Big Ten. It's like when people are trying to help supplement their income to pay rent by wrapping their car in some company's logo for an extra $200 a month. It may look dumb, but hey, it's cash, and they have to have it. Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark is thinking outside of the box because he has to. Now, there have been some rumblings that Allstate may be a willing buyer of those naming rights for a big chunk of change. And to be quite honest, regardless of whether it's the All-State Conference or the All-State 12, the name is going to be trashed because there's no way around it. But sometimes the name doesn't matter. It's about you getting the money. In Breaking Bad, Walter White just calls his product Blue Meth. Nothing fancy or witty because it's about getting the money at the end of the day. But in my opinion, the Southeastern Conference has a chance to do the funniest thing ever. Buy the naming rights, Greg Sankey, and change the name to It Doesn't Mean As Much Conference. Hell, we're heading to a 2 Super Conference League anyway, so why not just cut them off at the pass? But all joking aside, this is a smart move because they have to do it, and other things to try and narrow that money canyon I talked about. But now the question becomes, can they do it? And that's the most intriguing part. Former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, he knows a thing or two about can he do stuff. He does stuff all the time. My brother, y'all know what day it is.
This is flaming vodka!
I am dragging. He is dragging.
1.5.
Good.
1.5.
Haven't had this in a while.
Good.
We had one of our Booster Club members who's working to be a lawyer come up with a draft. We know what we can say. We know what we can't say. But David, I think we just power through this.
Bet the under.
Ninja focus. We're my-mouthing.
Yeah, we'll see.
Same, but different, but still same. Big 12 naming rights. Your thoughts?
I will not criticize a businessman for thinking of creative revenue streams to try and beat his competition. I understand that. I couldn't help yesterday. I couldn't help but think, though, of David Foster Wallace's novel Infinite Jest,
where I love that one.
Where the corporations are able to bid on everything, including the name of the year. So instead of like 2024, like in the novel, it's the year of the adult depends undergarments or something crazy like that, where every single thing is for sale.
It's all
and
for
it's just
sale.
like, reminds me like if money is the highest value to be obtained, there's nothing you won't sacrifice to get it. I really do believe that. So yesterday, when this news came out, everybody was poking fun at the Big 12, but said, well, the SEC and the Big 10 would never do this because they don't have to, and their brand is of higher order. But I'm thinking, well, for right now, but what happens in a couple years? I mean, what happens in 3 or 4 years when Greg Sankey's looking over and saying, well, we're leaving $50 million on the table? We could make that. What's the difference between the SEC and the Coca-Cola Conference? Let's just go ahead and sell that. Or that would trickle down into the university. What's the difference between Auburn University and just going ahead and selling it to Yellowwood?
Okay.
Let it be Yellowwood University. We get the extra money. The brand doesn't matter from a branding standpoint. So look, I don't want to criticize Brett Yormark's attempts at innovation, but I do miss a time when every single thing in our life wasn't for sale.
Yeah, Flaming Dragon, to me, it's the name of the conference wasn't really that cool anyway. I mean, you already got
accurate,
the big,
for that matter.
Or accurate. Like, you already got the Big 10. You have the Big 12. Why not come up with something different? It really doesn't matter. It's like the midfield logo thing to me. People are like, oh, no, they're going to put the brand at the midfield logo. I've never been watching a game and been like, God, I'm glad we completed that pass, but that midfield logo sucks.
Well, it depends on who it is. It just feels dirty to me. Especially with the logo stuff. I mean, if the Tallywhackers Corporation called you and gave you all this money
That's
and said,
different.
hey, we want to sponsor your team, we put us on the middle of the field, where's the line? Right? And it is so much different to me. The SEC brand and the SEC name, it carries so much more weight and has more depth than the Big 12. That's why I wouldn't be surprised. The only way if Sankey would ever do this is, one, the name has to be phenomenal and it has to be exactly what everything he wants to be.
Coca-Cola Conference.
That's the dumbest thing
They
ever.
do it.
I just don't
They
think
do it.
I think the SEC as a brand is too
But
big.
they don't have to.
They would have to, even a couple years that they would go for this money grab. I think Big 12, All-State, Big 12 was never it never ranked big to me when I think of football. What do you think of football? You think of Big Ten, you think of FCC.
Well, it's if you look at the numbers, right? The media rights deals for let's just use the SEC for example. It's what, $75 million a school? For the Big 12, it's like $32 million.
Yes, today, but what happens in 10 years?
Well, in 10 years, I think they're all going to be in a super conference anyway.
Well,
so
let's say we're not,
though.
I mean, in 10 years from now, do you really think we would have 4 conferences that held onto their traditional names, but then one of them is going to be corporate sponsored? I mean, hats off to the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl has fought this harder than anyone.
To make
the
this,
Rose Bowl, I mean, every other bowl game sold out. It's the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Every other brand comes before the name of the bowl game. The Rose Bowl said, look, we'll have a partner, but Rose Bowl's always going to come first. Rose Bowl game presented by Citi or whatever that year's partner. They've held out longer than anyone I've known. So maybe you're right. Maybe 15 years from now, we have a Coca-Cola conference, an All-State conference, an Aflac conference, and the SEC is still going strong. But maybe also they've just convinced us on a slippery slope that they've said the same thing. Hey, wouldn't you rather your school get an extra $3 to $5 million? That's what's at stake here. $2 to $3 million per school, $30 to $50 million for the conference. And again, this is one of the biggest deals outside of TV rights for a conference to be able to sell.
Well, there's no way Allstate would say, oh, you can be the Big 12 brought to you by Allstate. No, it's going to have to be the Allstate conference. But David, to your point, I think we're going to end up with 2 super leagues, and I would not be shocked if one of them was named Fox and the other one was named ESPN.
Sure. And
why not?
But that begs the question, though. If your ultimate goal is money, this could carry on to anything. How long until the AFC and the NFC and the NFL are corporate sponsored as well? Or like the Miami Dolphins. What's the difference between that and just, hey, you're now the Miami Krogers?
The Miami Bumblebee Tunas.
There was a funny meme yesterday. I was like, okay, the All-State Big 12 Conference. Well, you'll be in all states, right? No. You'll have 12 teams, right? No.
It is interesting. We want to know what you think. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We appreciate you being here. We will have calls today. We're going to open up the line at 2:45 p.m. Central. It's 1-855-236-3228. You got a minute to fit it in because we try and fit in every call that we get, and we're very blessed that the call lines are open. Also want to give a shout out to everybody. The amazing response yesterday with the announcement that I'm going to be having I'm not going to be having a kid. I'm going to watch my wife have a kid.
Hey, you're a part of it too.
I'm a part of it too. No, I put in a lot of effort.
Yeah, you did.
How much time are you?
And that picture at Stonehenge.
Dude, the Stonehenge.
That picture is elite, man.
No, I don't think anybody else has that picture. Booster Club.
All right, Booster Club, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it's on topic. It will get read. Get those feet chopping, and let's stay hot today. Let's start off with Drew. Drew, what is up? If these brand conferences deals happen, it better be Conference USAA.
That's
I saw
there's some that are good.
He's thinking
Southwest.
The Southwest Airlines. You could call it the Southwest Conference, like the old Southwest Conference.
I'm surprised they already haven't done a sponsorship.
Brilliant.
So what about
some that make sense?
One that I wanted to ask you guys: what about one conference buying the naming rights of the other conference?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, what if the Big 12 just puts it up for the highest bidder, and Greg Sankey's like, let the SEC buy it?
Why wouldn't he?
And call it it just means less conference.
I'm telling you, man. That's again. You want to talk about like playing 4D chess with them? We're gonna be in 2 super leagues anyway. Why not embrace it? Cut them off at the pass.
What would the name be for the All-State though? Like
it would be the All-State Conference or the
you can't do
All-State
anything
12.
else.
There's nothing.
How are you gonna Good Hands Conference?
I think it was.
But see, you don't know exactly. That's not saying what it is. That you wasted buying it. It has to say All-State
Or Mayhem. If they're going to do the Mayhem, if we're going that abstract, just let it be the Mayhem Conference, because that's a little cooler to me.
Well, I would actually think of the Mayhem thing for All-State easier than I would the Good Hands thing, but there's no way you spend whatever amount of money it is, and also the Big 12 is looking to see if they can sell, 15%, 20% equity to like a private investor or something we're looking at?
I don't know if that was in addition to that. This was, Andy Staples had a great article on this. I don't know if it was in addition to selling the naming rights or if that was just another alternative they were thinking about, which begs a lot of questions. I mean, you're talking about a nonprofit entity, a conference that represents, 16 universities? 13 of them are public institutions. Can you even sell 20% of your stake to private equity?
I don't know.
I don't know. But, another point on the naming rights is if you're the Big 12, you don't have 12 teams anymore, right? You Texas and Oklahoma are now leaving. You're in the middle of a rebrand, and you're going to go ahead and try and make some money off of it.
Now or never.
You got like fresh start anyway. You don't need to keep the 12 in there at all.
For Breeze Brothers situation. Let's go to Caleb Nat. What's up, Caleb? SEC would never sell their naming rights and have no need to. Would cause significantly more harm in the long run than it would in the short term.
I agree with that. Because, again, who are the big dogs? The SEC and the Big Ten. They don't need to reach. Brett Yormark and them have to find ways. Hey, you look at the groceries. Maybe we got to start buying some Czech Colas instead of Coca-Cola, right? Maybe we got to start buying those off-brand Nikes instead of the actual Nikes. Y'all know how it is, especially the economy the way it is right now. You got to find ways to be able to either make more money or save money. I think Brett Yormark, I'm telling you, I think this guy's really smart. I like the stuff he's done in basketball. He's kind of new wave, kind of a new type of thinker. And there is such a big money canyon in between the Big Ten and the SEC and really everybody else. We've seen Conference USA maybe think about changing their naming rights. Why not? I mean, it's, again, if you're the Pac-12, hell, you're the Pac-2 right now. Why don't you just think about naming it something like that? Something new. I don't know. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Do us a favor. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, trying to keep getting those sub numbers up, y'all know how it works. Hit the like button on those videos and please keep sharing the show. Thank you.